Hello my crafty friends! In this video we're going to be DIY crafting some beautiful Americana home decor. And for that home decor we're going to be using wood cutouts and wood scraps I have laying around that you might too. So with all that said, welcome to Sweet Bay Lane. I'm Tracy. Let's go ahead and get started. Start with a 2x4 that we've cut down. The two end pieces are 6 inches, this piece is 8 inches, and this piece is 7 inches. We're going to start by painting the two end blocks. We're going to paint those blue. Then we're going to paint our tallest block. We're going to paint that red. And we're going to paint our second tallest block white. So now that we have them all painted, we're going to move on with distressing them. All right, now that we have them sanded, we are going to add some vinyl decals to them. And I printed these out on my Silhouette machine. And I'll actually have them in my shop if you want to check them out. Just in case you want to make a set for yourself, I thought I'd offer them for you guys. So let's go ahead and get our decals on and we'll continue on from there. And then once we have our decals on there, look at how cute that looks. What do you guys think? Don't you think it looks so cute? But we're not done yet because I want to kind of add a little aged look to mine. And to do that, I'm going to do it with a little bit of stain. And I'm also going to take and add a little design here on this book. And also, we want to do the edge of our books, and for that we're going to be using a star stencil, and it's going to be so much fun. So let's go ahead and get started doing that, and then we'll distress everything with the stain towards the end. So let's go ahead and dive into that star stencil. All right, so now we've done a little bit of the stencil on the top here, but we're going to continue on since I didn't hit play on my or record on my camera. Ay, caca. It's one of those days, hey? One of those days. And then look at that. How cute is that? All right, so now we're going to continue on and we're going to get stars on all of our pieces. And then when we come to the white piece, we're going to put blue stars along the edge of the white piece. Oh, it's going to look so good. So let's continue on and get our stenciling done. And then once we have them distressed, and I took some painter's tape and painted little lines on this book here, and I think it looks so cute. But now that I have all of mine painted and the stars on the back, I also did the obviously the distressing with the stain, and I think they look great. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them out and I'm going to give them a couple coats of the satin clear enamel from Rust-Oleum. All right, now I have the clear coat on them, and I think that they turned out so beautiful. What do you guys think? Do you not love them? We made these for, actually we made a fall stack and we also made an Easter stack, and I think that they are so much fun to make for the holidays. And I like keeping mine apart so you can style them however you like. But what do you guys think? Don't you think they turned out so beautiful? For this DIY project, we're going to be using this 1x8, and it measures 36 inches. Now, what I did is I divided it into thirds. So I made a mark here, and this third is going to be painted blue. So let's go ahead and do that now. And I'm going to be using this navy blue craft paint from Hobby Lobby. Now, also, another thing that I want to do is I'm going to take... Oh my gosh, I've already got paint on my hands. All right, I'm going to take and mark this off with some blue tape, painter's tape. And I'm just going to mark this off right here to have a straight line. We definitely want our straight line. And then we're just going to paint it blue. All right, once we have our blue painted, we're going to move our tape and we are going to put it over our blue like this and wrap it around the edges. And then we're going to paint our board white. So let's go ahead and do that now. And now that our white has dried, we're going to remove our tape and we are going to put down tape to make stripes on our white. So let's go ahead and do that. And I think I'm going to use just the wider tape. Make sure our tape is pushed in, especially on the edges. And then we're going to paint these red. All right, and now that it's dried, I'm going to take mine out and I'm going to distress around the edges. Now that we have it distressed, I think it looks so good. But to finish it off, I'm going to add this stencil I made. And it says 1776 with the stars. And we are just going to put it on our board. And then once we're done with all that, we have this beautiful porch sign. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take mine out and I'm going to give it a few good coats of the clear enamel and satin by Rust-Oleum. And then I let it dry overnight once I clear coated it. And as you can see, it really brought the colors out. It really deepened the colors. And I just love how this turned out. What do you guys think? All right, for this one, we're going to be using this fun little mason jar wood cutout, and I purchased it from Hobby Lobby. So let's go ahead and start. First things first, I'm going to trim my hanger. All right, we're going to save that aside for later. Okay, perfect. Now, I'm going to start by painting my whole jar white. So let's go ahead and do that now. Then once we have it painted white, we're going to tape off the top part of our jar right here with some painter's tape. Press that down. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of these stars that I made a stencil out of. And we're going to put those across here. And then once I have my stars down, I'm going to go over them with some white. All right, and then once we have that white painted, we are going to paint this top part in a navy blue. And then once we have it painted and our stars removed, we have what looks like this. I think it turned out so good. What do you guys think? All right, so now we're going to take our stripe from the bottom of our blue stars, and we're going to put it right along this line, but inside on the blue. And we just want it as a little barrier, because now what we're going to do is we're going to paint red stripes this way. So let's go ahead. Once we have our tape on, we're then just going to paint our stripes red. So now that we have our stripes painted, our stars are painted, I'm going to take mine out and I'm just going to distress it a little bit just to kind of make it look more antique and vintage. So let's go ahead and do that now. All right, now we have it distressed. For our next thing, I want to add a little quote to mine, and I'm going to do this one, and it says, "God bless America, land that I love." So let's go ahead and put that on and get it. And I'm going to be doing this in a black ink, or a black paint ink. What am I even talking about? And then we have what looks like this, and I think it looks so cute. And actually, on camera, it's harder to read, but in person, you can read it perfectly. So That's good. Now I want to add a little bit of detail around mine and around the lid up here. So with that, I'm going to be using, I think, a black marker here, and I got these at Walmart, and I'll have them linked below. They are excellent, excellent paint markers. Excellent. Now I say that, so let me reel that in a little bit before I go using it, right? But, and then they have the bullet tip and the brush tip. So I think I'm going to try the brush tip first. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'll try that first. Nah, you know what? Let me do this. Let me do this. This, yeah, that's better. Okay, and now I'm just going to add a cute little design around the outer edge. And you can do like stitches. You can do swirls. I'm just going to play with it and see what I can come up with. So let's get started. And then we have our little designs around the outside. And then we're going to add our lid detail. And for that, I'm just going to do like little lines like the lid. So let's try and do that. And then once we have our details added on there with our black pen, I then came in with a paintbrush and some brown paint, and I just dry brushed it to make it look a little more vintage. So now you can leave it just like this and add the hanger, and I think that would be so, so cute. And I actually might just do that. I was thinking of adding a bow up here, but let me kind of fool around with it and see what we think. All right, that wraps it up for this DIY project. I did end up adding the bow with a little bit of burlap background to it, and I think it turned out so cute. And also, I wanted to show you guys, I have other videos from past years of Patriotic Americana decor, and I wanted to just show you a few of the pieces, and I'll link the videos down below. But I think this one's so cute too. And this was made with mostly Dollar Tree and Hobby Lobby supplies. And I think it matches this perfectly. What do you guys think? And then I also made this little cutie pie. And I think that is adorable too. Also, I made a set of firecrackers. And I think they turned out so cute. And these are just a big round dowel and some scrapbook paper. And then a little bit of rope for the wick. So I'll have those videos linked down below. But anyway, that wraps it up for this DIY Americana video. And I hope it inspires you guys to make some fun projects for your home to celebrate the Americana and American history. Well, also, if you haven't yet subscribed, please go ahead and do so because we'd love to have you here at Sweet Bay Lane. Also, don't forget to share the video and like the video. Give us a big thumbs up because that helps share the videos and this channel with others that have interests similar to ours. Well, thank you so much again for crafting with me, and until next time, make sure and keep it crafty.